All right, so first off, to start, we have to do our usual disclosure. Um, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast in the town of Barnstable's government access channel in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20. The chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known. This meeting will be replayed via Xfinity Channel 8 on High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Government Access Channel live video on demand archives on the Town of Barnstable's website, which is a long URL, but it's streaming85 at townofbarnstable.us will probably get you there. So, first up is going to be approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything else they want to add?
Yes.
What would you like to add?
I was wondering if you would consider moving Matt Roble up to the top of the agenda because he has a NOI meeting with Concom for the new straightway treatment plant.
Okay. Matt, do you mind if we just approve the the agenda, or sorry, the minutes before you, but we'll roll you up ahead of Kevin?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm okay with that. Is anyone else in the board having question, objection?
Fine, I'm fine with that.
Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the agenda with the adjustment that capital project update be moved ahead of operations report.
Correct. I'll
All in
second
favor?
it.
Second? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right, approval of agenda minutes from last month. Or agenda, excuse me, minutes from last month. Does anyone have any edits?
I have none.
All right, anyone else? All right, not hearing anything, then I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
No, second that motion. Oh,
Thank you, Kevin.
there you
Thank you,
go.
Patrick. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. Matt, you are up. Our capital projects. You are on mute right now, just FYI.
There we go. That probably fixed problem number one. And I should be able to see my screen share now, just making sure you guys have that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
So jumping right in, first one is our new well exploration program, phase number 4. We still have no change on this project while we're working through the same legal headaches that we've been for the last couple meetings on this project. So no change in status on this one. Item number 2 is our pilot testing project for the Mary Dunn Airport wells. DPW and Kleinfelder have been meeting internally regarding the revisions that need to be taken care of for the assistant director's sign off on the project. We have been going through some internal contract related questions. We've gone beyond the original contract date for completing the work. So we needed to make sure that our procurement office and other internal town departments have no issue with us wrapping up the work with the Kleinfelder team on this without getting more contract in place. So not a huge change on that, and we're continuing to work through.
Is there a date for that pilot study that you think we're going to see it?
Yeah, so the hope is that we're going to get that wrapped up by the end of February is basically where we extend the contract to with Kleinfelder. So they've actually got an email into us, some clarification questions that have come up working through basically the same thing with the Straightway project. They're just trying to merge our lessons learned with what we're going to be doing with the new suggestions on the pilot study report.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Item number 3 is our new Straightway water treatment facility and the replacement of the Hyannisport and Simmons Pond wells. Since we last met, the Kleinfelder team has attended informal site plan review for the project. The committee that oversees site plan review, I was actually not present for that meeting, but they were able to approve the project and waive the requirement for any future formal site plan review. So we've been able to wrap up that that regulatory proceeding. We've also submitted the project's NOI form, and application package to Mass DEP and to Town of Barnstable Conscom, which is the meeting that I'll be attending tonight at 6:30. Where Kleinfelder will basically present the project, our wetland resource impacts, and get the input of the Conservation Commission. Other than that, Kleinfelder is beginning the application packages for Title V variances for the tight tanks that are being installed as part of the new bathroom requirements for maintenance facilities related to the Massachusetts Plumbing Code. Other than that, stormwater management permit applications are also being started for the project, which are going to be submitted to DPW upon completion. We've already been kind of working with Kleinfelder as they've gone through design, so the hope is that the review there is not too heavy of a lift and we can get them passed through that quickly. Other than that, we received the 90% plan submission from Kleinfelder Friday before last, and we're working on internal reviews right now with Veolia, DPW, and Hyannis Water System. We'll be meeting with Kleinfelder later on this week to also get their the comments back over to them and meet with them on any revisions that we flagged during the 90% review. So project is well underway and we're getting to the final stages of design, I'm happy to say. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are we getting close on a much more final pricing on it?
So we actually received a revised cost estimate this past Friday after hours. So I haven't had a chance to review that just yet. But yes, I would say that at this point, I would hope that there's no surprise on that pricing, and we'll be able to update you guys on that at the next meeting.
All right, great.
Any other questions related to the Straightway project? Okay. So moving on, item number 4 is our lead service line inventory and replacement plan project, also being held up with Kleinfelder. Mass DEP required an update to the initial inventory that was submitted back in October. This mainly had to do with a way that the breakdown of service lines is reported in the form that's accessible to the public and was also submitted to DEP. So Kleinfelder took care of the update. We had to update our certification form, basically authenticating that we are in agreement with the inventory that they were submitting on our behalf. And we're working on getting the updated inventory posted at the Hyannis Water System office in a physical binder. And I'm working with the communications manager for DPW to have that replace the one that was submitted in October on the Water Supply Division project page.
Okay.
And then item number 5 is the Route 28 Yarmouth Road intersection project with Mass DOT. Since we last spoke, we were able to make some headway with the utility pole companies that were kind of holding us up from being able to do the curb stop relocation. Those are now slated to be completed at the end of January. So we'll be able to get another step closer to complete on that project as well.
Great.
Item number 6 is the Route 28 East Sewer Expansion Project and water main replacement, water main extension. With substantial work being complete on the project, we're still just waiting on upload of the GIS as-builts or the as-builts to our GIS system. So we have no change on that project, and we're basically in the final stages.
Awesome.
Item number 7 is our Ocean Street water main project, the installation between the condominium building and Hawes Avenue. Dirtworks, since we last spoke, has begun the installation of the new water main segment. You guys have seen a couple of updates kind of unintentionally in the form of a few service breaks that we had in the area of that project. Right now, the Dirtworks team is working on finishing up the actual install of the main water main extension and is going through disinfection, pressure testing, and clean sample results before final connection is made. We're hoping that'll be done in the next couple weeks. Good testing provided. And awesome. Happy to answer any questions you may have on that one.
You guys have been building faster than it took us to get that thing planned.
Yeah, it was a matter of getting through the logistics of getting the plan done and then also getting a contractor lined up and all that fun stuff.
Well, I'm glad it's getting there now.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll turn it over to Tyler Gilman for update number 8.
Evening, members of the board. Thank you, Matt. So Mary Dunn is currently on hold given the cold weather. Payrec 5 has been submitted, and change orders 2 and 3 are 2 is in circulation, 3 will be starting circulation. We are currently about 30% through the contract with work stored to date. The prefabricated building is still scheduled for the mid-March delivery, and the contractor has just recently put in notification for an extension of the project, given the delays we had at the beginning. They are still shooting for, they would like to extend until, I think it's the end of June, but they are claiming that they'll be done before then. So I'm waiting on their updated long-term schedule, but we are still on track for wrapping up in June.
Good. Good. Yeah, I really want to try to get that online before 4th of July weekend.
Yes, yeah, that would be the big push. That is, I have informed them of such, and they are aware that that is a kind of the big push.
Okay.
Any questions on Mary Dunn from the board?
No.
All right.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you for your time, Matt. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Tyler. Moving on to item number 9, the 16-inch transmission main project for Mary Dunn Road. This is the one that continues to kind of lag behind for the moment being. I have no update from last meeting. Just still trying to find out the time to wrap up the review on that one. And then item number 10, we have the Mary Dunn storage tank number 1 rehabilitation project. I'm happy to report that the procurement office has got us the updated front end documents. So we're able to move forward with internal review at DPW for the permission to advertise the project for bidders. I have that in the town engineer's hands right now. And as soon as we complete the last couple reviews related to that, the project will be posted and IFB set out on the street for bidders. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Glad to see that's coming along.
Yeah, we're making a lot of headway.
Yeah.
Want to be making a lot more, but
Good.
moving along at least.
This is good. Does anyone from the board have any questions, comments? All right, Matt. Well, thank you very, very much for your time, and I hope everything goes well with Concom tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for working with me on timing. And if anybody wants to attend that presentation, it'll begin at 6:30, and the links are posted on the Conscom website for anybody who wants to attend and sit in.
All right.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks,
All right.
Matt.
Everybody have a great rest of your night, and thank you again. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Drop that.
All right. Next up, Kevin, thank you for your patience and letting him run ahead, and you're up now.
No problem. How was everyone?
Well,
Excellent. All right. Well, let's kick off our last meeting from last year anyway. Tuesday, December 2nd, our staff were called out to the residents located at 19 Norris Street for a report of water leak and some minor flooding in the yard. Upon a quick inspection, it was discovered that the homeowner's irrigation PVB valve froze and split. The curb stop was shut off till the valve was fixed. No one was home at the time to notify, so the office was informed and they were able to contact the owner. The 10th, December, John Roberts, alongside Activated Carbon Company, were on site at the Mayer treatment plant to perform not 1, but 2 carbon exchanges. This was necessary due to the expiration of the carbon contract on the 14th of December. The exchanges were performed on Mayer wells 2 and 3, both lead vessels. The exchanges were completed and samples were taken before they were able to be put back online. The 12th, Veolia staff were on site at Mary Dunn, well number 4, for an inspection of the new tie-in to the existing water main. for a feed to the new well number 4 pump house. This work is being done by Winston Builders. Bortolotti was also in town to replace another hydrant on our adult list of 10 hydrants. This was H105 located near 432 C Street. This hydrant was also identified as a non-gated hydrant, and that was also part of the upgrade replacement. This hydrant replacement was also unique in the sense that 2 lead goosenecks were discovered during the excavation of the hydrant and the hydrant branch. There were 2 corporations feeding a larger single service feeding a cottage community on C Street. Those lead goosenecks were removed. 2-inch corporations were tapped into the water main correctly and then hooked up back into the 2-inch service to the apartment complex or the condo community there. Friday, the 13th, our staff were at residence of number 9 Nobadia Road. They were investigating a complaint of noisy pipes in their homeowner's house. Upon our investigation, they found a very noisy meter that was running nonstop due to a toilet flapper in the bathroom. They were instructed as to what to do to remedy the problem, and they would be all set once the repairs were made. Monday, the 16th. We'd like to welcome our new O&M technician. His name is Juan Duran. He's rather new to the industry, but he seems very eager to learn the trade, and we think he will make a great addition to our staff. Thursday, the 19th, Bortolotti was on site at Mary Dunn Treatment Plant to perform a couple of new taps on the Mary Dunn combo train at the plant. These new taps were necessary for the proper calibration of the new mag meters that were installed previously, replacing the ones, that were fried from the lightning strike way back in June. Monday, the 23rd. Seemed to have been the day for freeze-ups. The first of the calls came in from number 23 General Patton Drive. Their service was frozen in the meter pit. It would take some time to thaw out. The next call was at 478 South Street. This one was frozen in the house, in the basement, I presume. Tuesday, the 31st. In typical fashion, whenever there happens to be a holiday or weekend, etc., there is always an emergency of some sort. This one was located at 950 Iana Road, also known as San Diego's Mexican Restaurant. Bortolotti was called in to locate and repair the leak that formed in one of the entrances to the business. They located the leak on the street side of the service, and the repair was made. Much to San Diego's pleasure, their service was not interrupted very long, especially considering it was New Year's Eve. So on the next page, we got a few, the hydrant that we replaced. You can really, I know the picture quality is not all that awesome on the first one, but you can see a couple of the lines coming out on the right side of the hydrant going into the bank. Those are the services that were replaced. And then a couple from San Diego's leak. I'd also like to talk about, so our deliverables, our meters and radios for last month, we did 95 of them. The AWWA hydrant testing is pretty much non-existent because of the temperatures right now. So we'll plan on picking that up when the weather decides to be a little less rotten at this point. Our hydrant painting is done for the year. And our valve inspection and exercising, they're doing what they can. Again, we're trying to keep the people off the streets right now the best we can. When things warm up, I think we'll get and attack it the way it needs to be. So total for meter replacements, we're looking at 510, and we have 755 for the year. So we're almost 70% on those. Again, the AWW inspections and the valve exercising, we know we're behind on a little bit, but we don't see much of an issue. Honestly, the biggest deliverable that we have as far as timing and execution are the meter replacements. And we're looking to finish those probably in the month of April. So we'll be finishing up quite early on those. And everything else, honestly, is this coming or the next board report. There'll be another well that got rehabbed. That one just got completed. We have the inspection report on that one. So a couple of the big ticket items we are knocking off as we head through the next couple of months.
Good. Yeah, again, it's cold out there. You guys don't want, people working outside. So.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. It'll, potentially cause more injuries and like that type of stuff. So if we can keep them out from, they've been chasing Bortolotti around enough with water breaks for the past 2 or 3 weeks. So it's been very busy.
Yeah, I know. It was like almost every day you were getting one.
And another one today. So thankfully they got that cleared out too.
That's good. Looks like billed revenue starting to or received revenue starting to recover. And then billed revenue's way up. Is that just Hans, I don't know, maybe you can answer this. Is that just a function of the whole kind of backlog getting pushed in now?
Yeah, I see you totally.
Yes, it is.
Understanding the tech side so much more.
You have someone on the background, I think, who's got talking going on.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's all I have. Does anyone else on the board have questions?
No, I don't.
All right. Awesome. Well, Kevin, thank you very much. I hope you guys stay warm out there through this cold and don't have too many more pipe bursts.
Amen. Thank you very much. You guys have a nice night.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You too.
Kevin. Thank you.
Oh, that makes total sense.
Okay. Next up, we have fee abatement request for 110 School Street redevelopment by Shoestring Properties LLC. So, Stuart, I believe you are the one who is here for this. Help people out. This is the old Dockside restaurant location. That.
When you get the. I'm here to get some money back for installing a water main on School Street and the inspection on it. We had a water main that was on School Street, and I was asked that we would upgrade, put a new water main in, same size as far as I know, and we would be reimbursed by the water company, credited, reimbursed. And we paid the water company $31,000 or something like that. And then we paid, which you got copies of the bill, we paid $5,600 for the inspections that you guys, the water company suggested we had to do. And then we got $100,000 to install a pipe with the pipe, which comes out to about $140,903. And this was done, from what I understand, for less than half if the water company had to do it, because it wasn't prevailing wage, whatever. So I'm looking to get my money back one way or another. And you got the copy of the bills, you got copies of the inspection. We've already give the town what we give them, $35,263. And we paid Steele Stedman, messing up his name, I apologize. Let me look at what we paid him. You got copies of his bill anyway, it's right here. You paid him, I got a list, over $100,000 for the, water main was $100,000 even. You got copies of the bills. I don't know if we sent you copies of the checks, but that is very easy to do.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. Hans, do you want to add anything, any context? I think for a couple of, actually for a good portion of the board, this is our first abatement request that they've experienced. So do you mind just giving a little kind of context as to what this is?
Yeah, sure, no problem. A abatement request is basically a request from a customer to get reimbursed or get the fees waived that were legitimately assessed. So if there's like a mistake made, or the water company or any of their employees made an error, that's a different story. So this is basically a legitimate charge for system development charges that, for the reason that Mr. Bornstein explained, he would like to get his money back. And also pay for the construction of the water main. So traditionally what happened, and we have some examples for that, is that the water board can deny the request, they can approve it, or they can approve it for like 40% or 50% or anything like that. It's basically more a political decision than a decision that a town employee is allowed to make. So that's kind of like the background. In the past, the water board has only approved abatements when there is a positive end result for the water system as a whole. A couple of examples are the Audi construction right next to the airport rotary. For them to be able to put in a car wash, car cleaning building in the back, they had to extend the water main. They still had to pay the system development charges to tie into the system as a new customer. And in a situation like that, where the developer would put in a piece of water main, they got approved 100% for the system development abatement. This is similar to that. So Mr. Bornstein did already pay the system development charges for the new services that we provide to his two new large buildings, fire service and domestic services. The only difference is now that Mr. Bornstein also wants us to pay for the construction of the water main. So that is the new or the additional request. And it's up to the board to make that decision.
Thank you, Hans.
Okay.
Does anyone from the board have questions they have for either Stuart or Hans, or thoughts?
So, the $35,263.03, that was the system development fee.
Yes.
That's the system development fee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And if you look at the bottom line, which is
Mm-hmm.
the ask of $140,903.03, that's the total ask. So that is system development charges plus the cost of construction, inspection,
Yes.
etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
So historically, we have refunded developers this development fee.
Yes.
Yes.
The kind of theory that is explained to me is that,
Mhm.
If they do something that benefits the system, especially more in value than what they're paying, we would basically say,
Correct.
hey, there's your system development
Okay.
charge. You made our system better. In the case of this, in my opinion, we've gone from a 4-inch to an 8-inch main. So obviously it's a bigger service. They're going to have more people using water, which over time will also be more revenue to our system.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Patrick, anything you?
No questions right now.
Okay. Amy?
So basically their construction project just sort of fast forwarded updating the water system in that area.
Updating and also
Yes.
expanding it.
What was that?
And expanding it. We've gone to a much bigger, twice as wide pipe. Obviously, there's more demand for, with what's it, 80 some odd units there, Stuart?
Yeah, there's other people on that water main. You got the steamship authority, you got the marina. And there's not 80 units, it's 54 units.
Okay.
And the water main that was there was usable, but we were asked to put a new one in because on the street, on South Street, I understand not too far ago, you just put a brand new 8-inch main water main down that street. And you didn't get at the time to go put another main down, either budget problems or whatever, and I don't know that, down School Street. So why we're doing this, we were asked to upgrade the system. And I had a perfectly good system I could use for what's down there. It worked, but we took care of that for the, so just looking to get back what we paid. You in turn will be picking up more revenue for the more water use that's gonna come out of there quite a bit.
Hans, how long of a run was the new service?
Good question, Patrick. Let me check it out, okay? I don't have that information right in front of me. No, I cannot tell you.
I'm looking in the,
It's basically it loops South Street via School Street into the Steamship Authority. So my guess would be about 300-400 feet.
Okay, so from south onto school, from that section of school?
Yes.
Okay.
So it does not go all the way down to the water. It's just north of the Steamship Authority office.
Okay.
So the new 8-inch line there now loops through the Steamship Authority facility. So it provides a looping, so which helps.
Oh, so no dead end.
It's not dead end anymore. It helps both Stewart's new project and the Steamship Authority, and it gets rid of a very old 4-inch cast iron.
Thanks.
Sam, the previous way this type of decision making was made was to basically
make a motion.
now put the question up to the board, first of all, to deny it.
Yeah.
And to get feedback from the board. Second of all, to see if there's approval for the whole amount, and then the third question would be somewhere in the middle or whatever, to basically get through the process of decision making.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just going to say before we got to that, my feeling is on this, obviously there was a 4-inch pipe that we're doubling the size of the pipe to supply this. It is some looping. I personally be all for refunding the system development charge and just kind of keeping with that way we have done it in the past of saying, we're giving you a system development charge back. We understand that, you did spend additional money on it, but you're also bringing a larger service in for the needs of that area. So, that's my personal opinion, but I want to kind of hear what the rest of the board is feeling. Do they feel 0, some number between, or 100%? Louise?
I would say the system development. I agree with you on that.
Amy or Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, that seems to make sense to me where, it's sort of a win-win, and, they're helping to make the system better.
Hans, or Sam, can you explain exactly what happened with Audi? They got reimbursed the fee plus money, or just the fee?
I can explain that because I've been around for a little while. Audi got reimbursed the system development charges, not the construction cost of the water main. That was the developer for Audi was Joe Lahan. He's owner of a whole bunch of car places up here.
So Patrick, about me asking kind of what is your thoughts at the moment?
Have we ever reimbursed construction fees?
I mean, like construction costs or system development?
Yes. Construction costs.
No, never.
Okay.
Do you have something, Stuart?
Yeah, keep in mind, the main that we had there, we could have used. It was marginal, but it was usable. And it was approved by our engineer to check into it. But we were asked to upgrade it because the steamship needed water. And the town was supposed to upgrade these and just never did it. So we did it because we were there and we did it. And we took what the town should be upgrading and we paid for it. And I think I was told that if the town did it, it would have been almost double, if not more. And so we went ahead in good faith and even paid $5,600 for your inspectors to inspect the water main that was put in properly. So I would think, the system development was given to me and they asked me if I'd be good enough and we'd be reimbursed, quote unquote. So I don't care whether I get it all in cash, you want to give it as a future credit. I got other projects coming out online, but we got a heck of a good price on this because it was all part of a package. And again, I didn't have to do it. We could have even come off South Street direct off the 8-inch pipe without even going down School Street. But we were asked to do it this way and we did it in good faith. And I wasn't questioning that I wasn't going to get paid. I was under the premise I was going to get reimbursed for what we spent. If
I've
not,
not at any of those meetings, so
I should get a good percentage of it, in all fairness.
Hans?
I have a little bit of different view on the conversation, of course. But I don't really want to go into the tit for tat thing because it doesn't solve any problems. The reality is there was a cast iron that was 4-inch, so fairly small old water main. Both buildings needed a 6-inch fire service. So a larger diameter fire service was needed than the cast iron water main that was in the road, okay? The other thing is the Steamship Authority already has their own line feeding their buildings. What this new project did, it is just upgraded the looping for that. So does it help the Steamship Authority? Yes. Was it absolutely needed? No, for the Steamship Authority. And since the beginning of the perception of this project or the presentation, we have always presented this as an issue that as part of the project and part of the approval process, this water main would be upgraded.
All right. Well, I want to make a proposal, but that we would refund or abate the $35,263.03 for the system development charge and the $5,640 for the inspection of the new system. I don't know what the rest of the board feels about that.
So Sam, that would be $40,903.03.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yep, 900. Yep, you're right.
Okay.
Doing my
Okay.
mental math. That's I think a fair thing that obviously giving back this as we always the development fee and the expenses of getting it approved by us. So I'm curious what the rest of the board feels then, if it should be a motion to do that.
I'm okay with that one.
I'm okay with that.
Amy?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so I will make a motion that Hyannis Water System will abate. What was the number? It's what's it? $40,903.03. Is that? Just want to make sure we got the number correct.
That's what I have. That would cover
Yes.
the inspection costs,
Yep.
the inspection costs.
Yep.
And the
Okay, so
fee.
$40,903.03 to Shoestring Properties LLC for the project at 110 School Street, Hyannis. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Louise. And then we'll do a roll call vote. So, Louise,
Aye. Yes.
Patrick,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
and I, Sam, also vote aye.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for coming, Stuart, and thank you for
Thank
the
you.
project you are building.
Time, it's appreciated. I know you get paid a lot of money to be here. All right. Hey, guys, have a good night and thank you very much.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. What we have left to do. Okay, billing issue with fiscal year 25 increase implementation. So Hans, do you have an update on that? How is that going?
The initial letter was sent out and we received, basically the heads up for our customers that were affected. We received a lot of feedback. Lots of it wasn't very pretty, but that's to be expected. And we're wrapping up right now the wording on the bill that's going to go out with the additional billing cycle on that. So that's going to go out shortly, probably next week.
Okay. And people are paying up though. We haven't had anyone who's just put their foot in the ground and said, I'm not paying this. It's not my responsibility.
That's correct. That's correct.
Great.
We haven't had that. Most of the time we do waive, of course, the interest, and we set up, if needed, payment plans or whatever we can do to help, because, that's basically what we're here for, is supply water. Eventually we need to get paid.
Yep.
Whatever works for people.
All right. Awesome. Any questions from the board about this?
No.
All right. The last thing up, counselor assignments. So for Patrick, so what this is that we kind of break up town council and give a few people different board members that they may know, maybe they may be voting for them anyways, to have a point of contact. And an example of this will be is we're coming up to the need for additional money for the Hyannis waters, the Hyannis Port Straightway wells, to people to reach out and say, hey, I'm from the water board. We're gonna need this money. This is why. Please let us go borrow it and spend it so we can do this project properly. So put a little bit of a human face to our board with that. So last year, I know we did a pretty big reshuffle. And obviously with Jonathan stepping down, we have two vacancies currently. Charlie Bloom and Paula Schnepp, which is Charlie's over in Hyannis and Paula's in the Mills, I think.
Yes. She's the Mills.
Yeah. And then also we do have a new council. Yeah. We do have a new council president. Craig Tamash is been voted in over Felicia. So I know I talked to a couple of you guys. I'm personally opinion we should just leave this kind of more or less as is, just so we can build that continuous continuity of I'm the person who's going to always be talking about water board stuff, as long as, they're in town council, we have someone on the water board. The two things is I would have Patrick, if you're okay with it, you fill in to talk to Charlie and Paula. And then the one thing I talked to you about this, Luis, is just having me take over talking to Craig, and then you would take over Felicia as your contact since he's.
Yes. Yep.
So does anyone have questions, thoughts, comments on this? Is there somebody they're working with they absolutely can't stand and would like to not have to talk to anymore? Maybe throw a pie in their face.
Patrick, do you know any of the counselors?
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't.
You don't, okay.
Okay. Yeah, Charles is he's an older guy. He's really become interested in the water system. He'll be a good person to talk to. And we like to do it where we always have at least one board member talking to a person who is in our water system.
Mm-hmm.
They're hearing, so everyone in that water system is hearing from all the board members. And then obviously we kind of split the rest of it up based on geography and who knows what and stuff. So
Sounds great.
Okay. Who do you?
So Patrick, are you okay with doing that? Taking over for Charlie and Paula?
I am.
Amy, are you okay with everyone you've got?
Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. And obviously I know Tim's not here. And then Louise, you're okay with switching Felicia and Craig?
Yeah, I
Okay.
am. I didn't know if anyone else knew Paul Neary. I'm not really familiar with him, but I mean, I'll hang on, I'll keep him, but I didn't know if anybody else knew him.
Yeah.
Knew him better.
Louise, I talk to him a lot.
Oh, you do?
Um,
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
he is very easy to talk to, and the good thing is he is in the filter business. So
Interesting. Okay.
he has a natural interest in it.
Understanding. Okay. Let's see.
All right. Well, do we need to make a formal motion on this to approve our council assignments, or is it just something you'll? Okay, so if everyone's okay with that, then we'll have Hans go ahead and in the next month, you'll get the updated assignment list. And I'd
Mhm.
recommend just touching base and reaching out to them, especially for you, Patrick, to say, hey, I'm the new person. You have questions about this. We are going to be working more with town council. We have more stuff coming up in the future that, and they get questions from their constituents about water.
Okay.
All right. So that's it. Just want to check in. Nate, do you have any questions? I know we've had a lot going on tonight.
Not at the moment, no. I think I'm pretty good.
Good. All right. I don't have anything else for the agenda that I'm anticipating. Hans has got something.
I always have something to keep the board here and dragging the meeting on and on and on. Anyways, now without kidding, I just wanted to inform the board that pricing came back on the 3-year contract for the activated carbon. And I expected it, but I didn't realize how much more money this would cost. So we basically have a price increase from between 24 and 45%. Okay. So it's pretty substantial. So,
How much is that again? Hans, I'm sorry. How much was
between
it?
between 24 and 45% increase. Okay. And it's a quite large amount. And I'm giving you the range because how we bid it out is all separated and it depends on the year because we have a 3-year cycle. So pricing is a little bit different. Bottom line is, I already estimated before we send out the bid that the pricing per year would be way higher than we had before, around $600,000 a year. That's what I thought it would be, but it's going to be between $650,000 and $675,000 per year. The last number is the last year of a 3-year contract. So pricing.
He estimated pretty well.
Is it like that?
What
But
were we spending on it for previously?
previously, actually, Martian probably knows it better than I do, but I think it's somewhere around 450, 500,000. And the reality is, and I want to make sure the board understands this in the bigger picture, that pricing, construction, all these type of supply contracts, it is all going up with big numbers. So the fact that the straightway treatment plant now all of a sudden is so much more expensive than we thought, it's not an outlier. It's really part of the more broader increase in cost, like serious increase in cost that we have.
Hans, is there much of an exposure to Canada or Mexico for like maintenance supplies
No.
or looming?
Well,
Okay,
let's say
that's
this.
good.
Let's say this. For the activated carbon, no. Because thank God for West Virginia. So we're okay here. And the recycling facility is just outside of Buffalo, New York. So it's all relatively local. But if you're talking about other supply like electronics, our UV system, for instance, is Canadian. It's the only place that makes it. It's Trojan UF. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but we don't really have a choice.
Yeah. It's a scary world out there.
Yeah. So that.
We lost you, Hans. You're on mute.
So that's the
So we're
update.
not unique in this. We're not the only water department or other companies that are not experiencing this. So,
Well, at least we already have at least all the equipment in place for, all of our wells. So we're looking at, you think about a calm. Well, okay, so I had a conversation, I guess, that I think I can say this, that Barnstable Water is extremely proud that they cut their plant costs down from $24 million to 10. They removed green sand filtration as part of that. Think about what their monthly expenses are going to go through, because they're going to be burning carbon, pulling out iron and manganese. So, as we bring plants on like Hyannis, we're going to we should be saving money in carbon filtration costs with that, right? Correct, Hans?
That is correct, because we're filtering out the iron and manganese, which plug up the activated carbon beforehand. So you'll have less, basically long-term less maintenance, and less cost. It's just a long-term view of capital investment and operations and maintenance.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate you giving us that heads up, Hans. I hope that doesn't blow up our rate increase that we were able to get down to 4.5%.
No, it doesn't. But remember the conversation Mark Millen had, where he said, "Oh yeah, you never spend this what is it, $800,000 line item in my operating budget," and I told him, and you were in on that Zoom call, Sam, that they said, "Well, let's just wait and see what these activated carbon bids come back at before we make that final decision." And I was glad I said that, because we can afford it, but barely with the existing budget.
Right. Well, that's good. At least I'm glad we were preemptive on that.
Okay.
All right. Well, any questions from the board on this? Although, Patrick, great question about exposure to Canada and Mexico on that. So, all right. Well, not hearing anything else, I will motion to adjourn. Louise, thank you for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, guys. See you all in a month, and if we don't talk to you before then.